In this video, I'm going to share with you a way that I have used to overcome roadblocks in my experience. Now, all of us deal with roadblocks in our lives, and sometimes it just seems like you're hitting a wall. You don't feel like you can go any further, but you can. You can always persevere. Now, since a very young age, I've always had a fascination with water. And water, if you really consider water as a substance, it is 100% non-resistant. Given enough time, water will erode through anything in its path. Anything. Roadblocks are gone. Water takes the path of least resistance, and it carves through rocks. It carves through anything that you can think of. Now, you might say water could be considered a soft substance sometimes. So like softer than a rock. But over time, like the water perseveres and the water makes its own path through that rock. Now, in your own life, you can really use that as a metaphor. If you, as a person, get into a flow state like water, you're flowing through things, you're not fixating on something in specific. You're practicing what I call a state of non-attachment. Non-attachment to an outcome. You're in love with the process of just being. Now, when you get into that state of non-attachment, you flow like water. And when you start flowing like water, those roadblocks, just like with water, when the rocks are in the path of the water, they get eroded away over time. Now, the same is true for any roadblock in your life. If you consider that getting into a state of non-attachment, those roadblocks get eroded away over time if you are not attached to the outcome. Like, you're not putting that specific thing that you're trying to get on a pedestal, you will get there. You will always get there. All you have to do is persevere and flow like water. Now that's an epiphany I had, and I'm like, wow, this just changed my life just thinking about that. And I just had to share that with you because I really believe every single person on this planet needs to hear that. Because when you hit that wall, it feels like you can't go any further sometimes. Like I've felt that many times in my life, and I've been very, very angry, very frustrated. I really just want to get somewhere. I'm focusing too much on the outcome, right? Like I'm holding on to it. I'm attached to it. And it's just not getting me anywhere. So when I flow into the state of non-attachment, I'm not looking at the outcome. I'm not focused on, what I'm going to get out of what I'm doing. I'm just in love with the process. Then I become that flow, like water. Now, I found a lot of people struggle with this, right? A lot of people struggle to let go of the outcome because, it really makes a lot of sense if you think about it. Like you really do want to get somewhere. You really do want to see those tangible results in your life, and that makes sense. I have found that the most potent way to get into that state of non-attachment is through meditation. A lot of people really have a bit of a convoluted idea of what meditation really is, but what I know meditation to be in my experience is to know thyself. To know thyself is to meditate. And so when you become the observer of your own condition internally, you say, you come up on that roadblock and you have the knee-jerk reaction, right? You're like frustrated. You're like, I just want to, get through to the outcome, get through the other side. But you really have to know yourself in that way. And just when you become the observer of yourself through meditation, you are no longer being that knee-jerk reaction. This is no longer you. You are observing it, and you realize that you can choose not to react that way or react at all. I like to say I choose to respond to situations rather than react to them. And an easy way to do that is to focus on your breathing. I like to do 3 seconds in, hold for 3 seconds, release for 3 seconds, and just sit with yourself and just focus on your breathing. This may seem uncomfortable because your mind is going all the time, and you're used to being attached to thoughts that you're thinking. But the more that you do it, the more that you get in that state of non-attachment, the more that you allow the process. And when you allow the process, those roadblocks that are up here in your way, they will disappear and erode away over time until they cease to exist. And you'll find that around every corner, the universe is surprising and delighting you. You're like, you wake up in the morning, you'll say, woo! Feels so good to be alive. It feels amazing just to be awake. Like that's the first thing I think in the morning. I'm like, wow, another beautiful day in paradise. Can you believe it? A lot of people don't even, they take it for granted. The day, being alive. It's so easy to take things for granted when you're always focused on something out there, externally. It's so easy to take it for granted. But when you can bring yourself to that place of non-attachment, those blocks will disappear. Now, with that being said, it's another beautiful day in the heart of nature. Peace.